happening, YouTube? Anthony on Power Rangers Lost the Galaxy fan film with a brand new PRLostGalaxy 2014 review. And today we are to kick off October 2025. My review on McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Cyborg Superman from their gold label of these figures. Inspired by Cyborg Superman from the Revenge of the Green Lanterns comic. And oh man, when I saw this figure of Superman, I'm like, don't tell me. It's like you merged Superman and Metallo together. But again, I didn't read the comic, but from the look at the figure, it had me thinking it's like combining the worst nightmarish design of Superman. You know, it's like doing a very nightmarish look of Superman where you merge the Man of Steel with one of his arch nemesises, Nemesi, whatever you like to say, Metallo, because I recall Metallo. And it's like you're combining Metallo with Superman, but then he has possession of the Green Lantern powers and the Green Lantern Corps. And I just had me thinking, like, I think the kickoff spooky season, I really want to show off this freakish monstrosity of a Superman. Like, it had me thinking, you know what, this may be a very cool Superman figure to have, but I was very hesitant of getting it. But I really felt like, all right, you know what, why the heck not? I'll just pick it up, just like when I picked up Azrael Batman earlier. But I was like, what the heck, let me pick this up. So got this from Walmart, got this for $24.99 at Walmart. Same time I got Azrael Batman this past month of September. And I thought, oh man, I was like, man, I should check this Superman out and add it to my collection, see how he stacks up. So here's the front of the package of Cyborg Superman, and the gold label being all shiny and shimmery, and then Revenge of the Green Lantern title with Cyborg Superman, and then this comic book, the comic book render of him wielding the Green Lantern Corps rings and him laughing maniacally and psychotic. And it's basically the thing of nightmares. I mean, I've seen very nightmarish comic book art of heroes going bad, but nothing like this. But I've seen plenty of bad imagery like that, you know, very diabolical imagery of our, you know, fallen hero like this. Because then again, it's one of those cases where we had an evil Superman, you know, in the DC universe, and just seeing him with those Green Lantern rings and the cyborg hand makes me think that, again, Superman, while evil, is trying to use those rings to, you know, but again, just looking at those rings, it gave me, you know, once again, vibes of Thanos from the DC, I mean, from the Marvel Universe with the Infinity Gauntlet and everything. There ain't going to be no up in the way, but man, this looks like a job for that Superman. A Cyborg Superman or Terminator Superman, but you get the deal. Let's get on with that review. Well, to kick off October this year with the thing of super Kryptonian nightmares based courtesy of LexCorp. LexCorp, that is Lex Luthor's company. So here's the backstory based on what the file card tells me, if I can read it, but even though it's not going to be my best of effort. Astronaut Hank Henshaw was on board with LexCorp, with the LexCorp Space Shuttle Excalibur, with his wife Terry and two other crew members when it crashed. At first, the accident was thought to have been caused by Superman. So this is basically why this Superman exists and why Hank Henshaw had to merge himself as a robot, but in the style of Superman. So there's your bit of that backstory if you want to read the rest from what was on that file card. So yeah, you got the trading card, and then you got two interchangeable hands, one with a pointing finger, and I'm like, man, this almost looked like a middle finger to me. And then you also got the spare default hand that the figure came with when you take it out of the package, but I had to replace it with that ball fist to replicate the comic book image of him just maniacally looking like this, but for the toy. But I gave it this pose, and I just thought, like, man, this figure just looks diabolical and just straight up maddening. Hey, if anybody remembers Superman 3, anybody remember when one of the sisters of the main villain from that movie was merged with that supercomputer? Yeah, I heard that was a thing of nightmares and traumatized a lot of kids in 1983 when Superman 3 came out, and I could tell y'all was traumatized shitless seeing the image of that, you know, that woman being merged with that supercomputer, and this is how that was the result. So you want more trauma? Here's a Cyborg Superman to relive more more of that drama. Okay, let me stop. I don't know why I'm doing that. But I just had to bring that up because it just had people, then again, this Superman comic was in 1990, April, no less, and it's been over 35 years since that Superman comic. So who would have thought 35 years of that Revenge of the Green Lanterns, but then you have Superman in some capacity being brought up in that comic book. So yeah, but looking at this figure, it's just straight up wickedly imposing, frightening, and yet pretty awesome because again, it does have a bit of that Terminator vibe. The DC Universe did have a crossover with Terminator or something. But it would have been great because knowing that, of course, 1990, so by that time James Cameron was filming Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and then 1991 the movie came out, but it would have been a great Terminator crossover with the DC Universe. But of course, what does Terminator have anything to do with the DC Universe anyway? But it just has that Terminator-esque feel because, like, when you look at parts of the Cyborg body with a Superman-esque design to this, it's like you got his signature Kryptonian S symbol on it. Half of the suit is like half silver, half red with bits of black to it. The cape is black, and then the face is like half human, half android robot, a cyborg robot. So, you know, you have that because it's very, very science fiction and very horrific, but it works. But I really like how they put this figure together by making it more straightforward, like out of the comic. But what got me was, especially when toying around in terms of the articulation features, now the cape. Now, this is one of the first few DC figures I got where the cape has those little wire strings, because, of course, wait until when I get a few Batman figures later with this feature, particularly like Michael Keaton's Batman from Batman '89 in the Multiverse line. And you have, like, these... The cape can extend and stretch out, so that's also a neat feat. I wish I had more action figures that had, you know, superhero figures with capes like this. Of course, it's just mostly with the DC Multiverse by McFarlane, but I don't know if Mattel will do this when they do their, again, license. Returning of the license in 2026. All right, so let's take a look at the articulation. His head goes up and down, left and right. Tilt that head up and down, and turn his head all the way around and freakishly, like, show off that face. Okay, but then you also have yet again the loose butterfly joints, in which again I don't know why I still have that function to that feature, but unless you just want to give more of the butterfly joints some free movement. So there you go. Elbow crunch is good. Also, I swear it looks like chip paint. Now, I've noticed that my Cyborg Superman has some chipped chipped paint or some chipped sculpting to that arm. I don't know why that happened, but I think this is just only on my figure. Then you also have the hand joint being freely, freely. Then let's do the elbow crunch on that Cyborg arm. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. And then you can turn that hand around. And then as for the abdomen crunch is pretty good on this figure, so that's ready to go. Then you can spread those legs. Now, when I saw this figure and when I saw that they had the plastic underwear on some of these figures, I was like, I don't think these legs are going to move very well. But much to my surprise, they can't move because due to the fact the underwear is plastic rubber. So then for the legs, now let's do the knee crunch. Okay, I'm trying to get this knee crunch going here. Okay. Knee crunch is just like this on this figure, and then you got ankle pivot. Ankle pivot is a little stuck on this figure a little bit. No, but it was stuck a little bit, but I got the hang of it. And then toe flip. So you got that toe flip, and just get that leg moving. And then knee crunch on due to the robot leg, you're not going to be able to flip the bend the knee like you would on a regular leg. Because due to the fact this is a robot leg, you're not really going to do much. Now, ankle pivot you can do on this leg, and you can toe flip, but that's about it. But I don't think you can bend that knee due to the fact this is a cyborg, leg. You're not going to do that, like as opposed to a regular human knee joint. So that's it for my review on Cyborg Superman. Because yeah, it's worth the pickup. It's worth the buy because, if you're really in that itch for this kind of Superman or this kind of figure where it's half human, half cyborg, go for it. Because wait until I collect some, some of NECA Toys Terminator figures that did this kind of thing. Because you know how, like in the Terminator franchise, you have a Terminator that imposes to look like a human organism, but then turn around, he's, he or she is a robot and wants to terminate you. But that's that kind of feeling. There you go. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time with a brand new review.